What is good, YouTube? It's your boy, Mr. Snozcumber, back at you again with another Wikipedia article reading. This time I'm going to be okay. Well, this time this time I'm going to be reading David Beattie, the businessman, not the other David Beattie. It's not even giving me disambiguation page up here to click on any other David Beatties. So Wikipedia, I'd like to know what other David Beatties there are. Maybe I could read about them. But for now, I'm reading about the only one that I'm seeing available here, the businessman, or the Scottish businessman, born in 1955. We do not have any more specific information on that. But so David Beattie was born in 1955 in White Inch, which is a neighborhood in Glasgow, in Scotland. Let's see what White Inch is. What the Actually, it's kind of cute. I like that. Interesting. There's a local Salvation Army center for the west of Glasgow. So that's pretty cool. And that's where David Beattie was born. He's currently the chief executive of Enterprise Foods Limited and the chairman of the Scottish Championship Football Club, Partick Thistle. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what Partick Thistle's about. They're in the championship, which, contrary to how it sounds, it's the second division, not the first division. They got relegated, which means they suck. They're not very good. But yeah, there we go. There's our man David Beattie. They play at Firhill Stadium in Maryhill in Glasgow, which is probably close to that other place, White Inch, where he's from. So he's an entrepreneur, business executive, chairman of Partick Thistle FC. And he's worth £6.3 million, which if we check that out in this little handy-dandy converter we've got here, so that's 6,300 or 6,300,000. That is about seven. That's a lot of money. That's that much money. It's a lot of it. So good on him. Born in White Inch in 1955. David's father, born in Partick, which I guess is another part of Glasgow. Yeah, it is. North bank of the River Clyde. Cool. He was determined that his son would become the new striker for Thistle. However, I guess he was not the most athletic of kids. A footballing career never came into fruition, but he was educated in Linwood. He achieved very little academically, but he was just always determined to succeed at whatever he turned his hand to, except for football. See, that didn't work out. But in the course of the last 30 years, he started and sold a number of companies in the food and drink industry, most recently creating the Enterprise Food Group Limited in 1995 from the basement of his house. That's pretty cool. In respect to that, I'm currently in the basement of my own house reading Wikipedia pages in the dark. So, yeah. He grew the company from a zero start to a position where it was employing over 500 people within the bakery sector, supplying supermarkets with cakes and related products. And in 2005, he sold the manufacturing arm of the company. But what I consider more interesting is how he relates to Partick Thistle, because I'm a big football fan. Scottish football is pretty interesting, although it's only ever Celtic and Rangers who win. But I digress. He's currently the chairman of his boyhood team, Partick Thistle. Obviously, he was not very good for them, but anyway. As director, he helped the club see off a debt of around £3 million, and along with a managerial team of Alan Archibald and Scott Patterson, he played a lot for a lot of teams. Partick Thistle, a lot of them. Nice, very nice. Some dudes. Led Thistle into the 2013-14 Scottish Premiership, and he also introduced the club's popular under-16s go free to Firhill, which I think that's where they play, right? Firhill Racing Stadium. Yeah, okay, that's where Partick Thistle play. He introduced the club's popular under-16s go free to Firhill scheme, along with the then manager Ian McCall. I feel like I've heard of his name before. Ian McCall. Managing Ayr United. Ayr. Remember that band, Ayr? In July 2019, Beattie returned to the club after the dismissal of the incumbent board led by Jackie Lowe after a poor domestic season in the Scottish Championship and allegations of poor financial management. He will form a new executive board for the 2019 and 20 season. That's what I said. They weren't very good. They were in the Premiership. They were okay. Then they got relegated, and they were garbage. Let's see how garbage they were in the Scottish Championship. So we've got 2019-20. You got all those teams. Partick Thistle being one of them. See, they're, 2 games. Still bottom of the table, but they've got time to make up that ground. But let's see how they did last season. I bet they were garbage. Yeah, okay, they were pretty mediocre, which for them is having just been relegated into this division should have been better. Anyway, so let's go back over here. So following taking over as the chairman of Thistle, Beattie was diagnosed with throat cancer. Oh, damn. He stated that the club and the fans saw him through the cancer, which is now in remission. Good for you, Mr. Beattie. I'm very happy for you. I'm happy for Thistle as well. He's married and has 5 children. Very nice. In 1991, Beattie was the team captain on an episode of Channel 4's The Crystal Maze. I'm guessing that's some kind of game show. A range of challenges set within a labyrinth. That sounds really complicated. Interesting, but complicated. And yeah, this is a stub. I don't know anything about the man other than what I just learned right now, so I cannot, I would not be of any help to expand this. Maybe that dude who, I don't know, I saw a video about some guy who makes like millions of edits. He could do it. Thistle seems like an interesting club, although one that's not that good at the moment. This seems like a very nice man who is trying to do the best for his team and his family. And happy he's in remission. So, glad you learned something today. Au revoir tout le monde.